Alrighty, we're recording. Yay! Happy Monday, guys. Welcome to our Team Sweaty Lovely Life team call. I am super excited. This is part 2 of a really special swap that we've been doing with Allie. So I'm excited to get going tonight. Tonight she'll be sharing with all of us. I just want to quickly say to everybody that is on a Team Cup team this month, I hope that you guys are still going strong. I hope that you're out there pushing really hard and just getting after it. There's still plenty of time in the month. I know we always kind of get caught up in time and number of days left, and we want to hit certain benchmarks by certain times, but my best advice to you is to not let that go to your head. Keep your mindset positive, keep it focused on belief, and just keep going, and you all are going to crush it. With that said, I'm going to just hop on in and introduce Allie. So let me share my screen. So I totally creeped on Allie, if you guys don't know the backstory. Found her in our Northeast page and saw that she was literally kicking ass. She is a powerhouse. She literally changes so many lives every single month. And for that reason, I immediately reached out to her and I wanted to pick her brain and hear all of the things. If you follow her, if you're on her team, you guys already know that she is so authentically herself, and I think that is what shines through the most with her. So I asked her to speak tonight on inviting and sharing whatever else she will share about her story and just how she speaks so authentically to her tribe, her people. So she is a 2-star diamond coach. All right. She is a success starter. So if you guys are newer and don't know what success starter means that back in the olden days, it meant that you hit Success Club your first 3 months as a coach. Now, Success Starter means that you've hit Success Club at least 3 out of the first 6 months that you've been a coach. So they've definitely leaned it up a little bit. So that is super badass. She is a full-time coach, as most of you already know, and she's also a 2020 Premier coach. So her team is kicking butt. And I'm sure they are kicking butt as well right now. So I'm going to stop my share, and Allie, I'll let you take it away.
Boy, okay, so I'm doing this call with a 4-month-old right next to me. So this could either go really well or really bad. It's like a gamble. So should we take bets first off on how this is going to go, right? I wish this was the margarita right now, but unfortunately I just have water. So, hi, I am Allie. I am a mama to a 5-year-old and a 4-month-old that just spit her binky out, so it's already starting off great. My husband started this whole walking routine now that he does at 8 o'clock, and he refused to change the time or take her with him. So, you know how that goes. So we're just rolling with it. Anyhow, I've been a coach for 2.5 years. I worked full-time at State Farm. I worked 10-hour days when I first started this whole gig. And so trying to fit the time to invite, time to create content, all that stuff was really, really difficult. And it really was fit into just the little pockets of my day, because when I got home, I still had a mom, right? I still had to mom to the 2-year-old at the time, cook her dinner, all that stuff. I refused to wake up early back then. I was still stuck in the I'm not a morning person phase. So I was doing 80-day obsession in the afternoon, right after I got home from work. So I was done with 80-day obsession about 7:30. It was dinner, bath, bedtime, and then I somehow fit time for this business in there. And I started it, March of 2018, and I worked 10-hour days, but only made about $25,000 a year. So it was really low, which in Georgia, I mean, we don't have high income living, whatever things, right? But I was able to, work my hiney off, invite a shit ton of people. And I knew going in, I wanted to make this full time. I wanted to be home with my baby because she was having speech delays. I had to miss all of her speech appointments, all that goodness. And I didn't want to have to do that anymore. And, sometimes you're like, okay, so I can either kind of sort of do this, or I can really go all in, invite my head off, stop saying excuses about I'm too busy, or I don't have this, or I don't have that, or I'm just starting out, whatever the case may be, or I could just do it. And I stopped just saying, because I just started Beachbody. Like I just started doing this. Like no one's going to listen to me. I'm way overweight. No one's going to listen to me. And I was just like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to stop bullshitting and I'm just going to do it. And so I went all in, and I'll kind of talk about how I invited people and all that. But I really think it's content. Like I believe that the stuff you put out there, the content, the vibes you put out there, it's either going to connect with somebody or they're going to be like, no, bye. Right. And so they make that first appearance assumption on our page before they even want to get to know us in the DMs. And so I firmly believe that it's how you represent yourself on your magazine cover, which I feel like our Instagram is like our magazine cover, right? Like how we represent ourselves, how well they get to know us is how well they respond to us in our DMs. Because we all know that we can send all the invites. I could sit here and tell you to send 50 invites right now, right? You send 50 and I send 50. And I'm good, and you're just starting out, right? And maybe you've only posted some sweaty selfies, or the picture of your Shaco bottle, like all the typical Beachbody posts, right? And me, I've posted content that's curated to either educate them or entertain them or give them some emotional feeling, right? So we both send those same 50 invites. I'm going to get more responses. It's just statistics because they know me better. They've seen me. They know my posts, right? And so I'm just going to kind of go over how I create content, how I kind of my mindset around it. Then we'll talk a little bit about inviting, but I really want you to focus on your page because I know how easy it can be to fall into the slump. Well, I'm not motivating. I'm not inspiring. I have nothing to say. I've been in the house for 6 months. Like newsflash, we all have nothing going on in our lives right now. Like we all are stuck in the house, right? We're stuck in the house and in the house bored, whatever that TikTok song is, right? Like none of us are going to any extravagant places or doing anything extravagant with our lives, but it's all about how we entertain them and how we take them on that journey and how we pose our pictures and curate our feed to make it look appealing and to still give them value, right? So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we're just going to get started, but first Amy has to let me. And then at the end, I will so we have time at the end, so I'm going to try to get through this as fast as possible. If we have time at the end, I'll pick a few of you guys if you want, and I can go through your feeds, and we can kind of use it as examples, and just know that if you volunteer as tribute, I am tough love. So I do the sandwich effect. I will give you a compliment, give you the criticism, and so just volunteering yourself is allowed there. Anyways, okay, so let's go ahead and share. Everly, honey, you got to stop laughing. All right. Sorry, I've got 9 million things open, so it's probably going to be slow here for a second. Let's present. Fudge monkey, it's not presenting. There we go. Okay, perfect. Can you guys see this? All right, I'm going to pin so I have to see myself talk. It's a really weird thing I have. Okay, so we're going to create content that connects, engages, and sells. So let's start this. The top things you want to think about when you're creating content, right? This is what I start out in my head, what I think about whenever I first, let me see if I got the chat so I can make sure. Okay, so it's just people volunteering. So top things to think about. So the first thing is, who are you trying to talk to? Sometimes as new coaches, we are so deathly afraid of narrowing our field that we want to talk general and generalize it to where it's like throwing a freaking like little rice grain into an entire pile of rice, right? Like that's what we're wanting to do as new coaches because we don't want to be too narrow and like turn other people around off, or we don't want to like miss people. So we just kind of do a generalization. Y'all, the more specific, the better. You want that person on the end of the computer, on the other end of the phone or whatever they're on to say, holy baloney, she's talking directly to me. Like you are literally looking into my soul and taking it out and just reading it. That's what you want because that is what makes them, that's what turns them from a follower to a friend. And we're not trying to collect fans. We're not trying to collect followers. We're trying to collect friends. And friends connect with one another. And the only way you can connect is creating content that connects to the other yous of the world. Y'all, it's not difficult. The posts that you are trying to curate are you are talking to your person who you were pre-Beachbody. You're not trying to talk to the mom that has 6 kids if you're single and in college. You're not trying to talk to the woman that is trying to gain weight if you've never, dealt with that, right? You're not talking to the single mom that, is so busy and working 10-hour shifts if you're the stay-at-home mom that you're trying to connect with them, right? Like, we really need to hone in on our niche. Like right now, all my page is about is breastfeeding, is about being a new mom, is about postpartum, because I am trying to hand select those women. And guess what my team is filled with right now? All mamas that have babies about 4 months to 5-month-olds that, went through this whole crazy postpartum journey with me, because that's who I was trying to reach out to, and that's who I connected with. The second thing, what do you want this message to provide to them? I don't know what priv is. Obviously, I don't know how to read. Think 3 E's, and we're going to get more into this on the next thing, but I just kind of wanted to put that out there. The 3 E's: educate, entertain, and emotions. Do we want to provoke and educate them on something, entertain them with something, or emotions? And then the third thing, and I've got a whole slide on this, so I'm not going to get too much into that part, but the third one is, would this post stop your scroll? And this is the hard part, right? This is the part that we don't like to do. We don't like to look at our page and think, I kind of half-assed this picture, or it's really just like a sweaty selfie of me like doing this. I'm not really doing anything else. Or you look at your page and you're like, my photos are dark and they're dingy and I don't really know what I'm doing. Like, these are the things that, we're thinking about and looking at our post, right? And so what you need to do is really look, and I always get my husband to do this. I'm like, honey, can you like scroll through my page and say, like, would this photo like stop your scroll and be like, who is she? Right? And he'll tell me like, no, it's really dark, or you kind of look like you're stupid, like whatever. You know what I mean? And that's a thing you can do is if you go through the explore page, and this is what I used to do at the beginning. I used to scroll through the explore page and see what photos my eyes just like, woo, to. And most of the time they were light, they were bright, and they had a woman with a huge smile, or she was doing something. And that's kind of what I have geared towards with my page. So it's always with me. I always have a huge smile. And I've always edited them to be bright. Now, of course, some people's feeds and some people's vibes aren't like that, but that's just what I found catch my eye. All right, so let's go into the 3 E's, if my page will go. What is that blue dot, y'all? I don't know. No. Oh, shit. There we go. All right, so the 3 E's, and these are actually clickable. I'm going to take you to my page and give you kind of examples of that. So the first one is educate. So what are you trying to teach them, right? So anytime I put up a post, like, I don't want to just throw a post out there and pray it sticks. If I'm putting content out there, I want to make sure that it's going to reach somebody. I don't just post to just post. That's my personal thing. Like, I believe that if you ain't got nothing to say, don't say nothing at all. And so that's why I curate my content and batch it. And I will go over how I do that. But the first thing is, do I want to educate them? Do I want to talk to them and educate them about body positivity? Do I want to educate them about, diets and how they don't work? Do I want to educate them about, Shakeology, or educate them? Like, what do I want to teach them something? And so we're going to click this and I'll actually show you what it is if it'll let me. And it's loading. And so like I told you guys, like, educating them. Are we going to open? We're opening. Perfect. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to want to read it to you so you guys can see exactly what it means to educate somebody, because sometimes we're like, what does that mean? So here we go. So 2 years ago, the only way I thought I could get results was deprivation, and starvation. Seriously, y'all can tell I don't proofread anything, right? Like everything's got typos. Seriously, I would worry myself sick about how many calories I was eating, trying to make sure I stayed under 1,200 for my body. That was basically starvation, and ensuring I never had bad carbs, or making sure I contained my cheat meal to a week. That would last a week, maybe two, if I was lucky. And then the binge session would begin until I made myself sick. And then I would always follow with a start again Monday. And guess what, y'all? I finally started seeing results when I stopped dieting. And so here I'm teaching them and telling them and educating them that there is another way other than dieting. You see, I put my story in there. And this is what we as Beachbody coaches forget sometimes, because it's the scary part. It's the part that we don't like to do. It's the part that we're like, oh my God, we don't like to tell our story. A lot of us don't, especially new coaches. We're afraid of being vulnerable. We're afraid of being judged. We're afraid of nobody resonating with our story, when in actuality, they need to hear they're not alone. And so when I educate them, I still want to put a part of my story. I feel like every single thing that I post has a little bit of me in there. So then when I do slide into their DMs with a straight up invite, they already know who I am, because they basically know my entire life story. It's hard to get vulnerable. It's scary. And it took me a lot of tiptoeing around it to finally dive on in, if that makes sense. But that is when your content is really going to translate. So then the second thing is entertain. So are you just wanting to kind of provide them humor, make it lighthearted? Are you wanting to, just kind of give them something light? I am a firm believer in every single thing we post does not need to be super heavy and super just kind of always on. I usually do my light posts on Fridays or Saturdays, because you guys know pre-quarantine, not many people were on social media on Fridays or Saturdays. And so I would always do kind of light posts to entertain them and get engagement on Fridays and Saturdays, because then I would post a hard call to action on Sundays, meaning a transformation with, drop an emoji or drop your email if you're interested. So I wanted to get as much engagement as possible beforehand. So here's an example. Spent all day changing dirty diapers and dealing with a cranky toddler on top of cleaning my house. So this mom's night out is definitely deserved. So let the margarita drinking, taco eating, and gossip talking commence. Kids are with dads, so currently taking bets on if the kids are alive when I get home. It's just funny. It's lighthearted. It's engaging. And those are the ones that I get tons and tons of comments on, that just kind of let me start conversations with them and find the people that are my people, right? I have found that the ones that I'm not trying to really be super pushy or telling deep stories and all that stuff get the most engagement. So then I can slide into their DMs and be like, oh my gosh, I saw that you have kids too. How are they being today? Are they crazy? Mine are driving me up a wall, something like that. Or how's quarantine life treating you, or whatever the case may be. But you have something of commonality to connect with. Maybe it was an entertaining post about talking about your favorite drink, right? And then you can slide into their DMs saying, I saw that you commented that your favorite drink's a margarita too. That is my absolute favorite. You know what I mean? So just those are really well for creating those connections and creating those relationships and getting them to so then you can slide in their DMs and invite them. You know what I mean? So then the last one is emotional. These are my favorite, and they're the hard ones for a lot of coaches, but I love telling my story because I've seen directly how it can impact somebody and change their life because they connected with my story. It took me a while. At the beginning, I was a surface level coach. I think we all start that way, right? We talk about our sweaty selfies. We talk about how proud we are that we completed a workout. We talk about how great we feel. It's all about I. And it's nothing about how we can serve them, because we're just so scared about being vulnerable to connect with them. We're just wanting to talk about all the shit we're good at, right? I think we all start that way. But when that doesn't really give that much value. So I just urge you, and I'm going to give you some kind of pointers as we go along, but getting connected with that emotion. So let's talk about a post that makes them feel. I feel like somebody was unmuted. Maybe I'm just hearing things. So, like I was saying, a post that makes them feel, telling your story. So here's me talking and kind of getting really vulnerable. As like to the mama that says she is too busy to take care of herself, to the mama that says chasing her babies around is her cardio.
What?
To the mama that says she doesn't want to take away time from her littles.
Did you eat it all?
She's at work all day long. Oh, there's somebody who's unmuted. You're unmuted. There we go, Stacy. All right, perfect. So anyways, to the mama that hasn't taken a shower in 3 days, I get it because I was you. Like, these are all things I said. And so I'm talking directly to the mom I was when I had Riley. Like, that's who I'm talking to. The first 2 years of Rye's life, I wore busy like, y'all can tell I do not proofread. I wore busy like a badge of honor. I was too busy to take care of myself with a 30-minute workout. There I'm plugging Beachbody on Demand. But I somehow was able to fit in hours of social media time. We know TikTok right now and all that. Like, all of us moms are just sitting there scrolling our phone. Like, we fit tons and tons of time, but we couldn't fit time for a workout because we felt like it was selfish. I was busy chasing her around, but when she wanted me to get down on the floor and play with her, I told her no because I was physically exhausted. And that's the truth. That was my breaking point whenever Riley asked me to play on the floor with her, and I told her no because I didn't want to get off the couch. I paid for a gym membership that I didn't use for 2 years because I didn't want to take away more time away from Riley because somehow I felt like she would resent me. The day I decided that I wanted to become the mom that I wanted Rye to be one day, it all clicked. I want her to take care of herself. I want her to know that her worth isn't just in being a mama. I want her to have me time because it makes her a better woman. So why wouldn't I lead by example? I'm still busy. I'm 2 babies in, but every day I wake up, make sure to take care of myself because now I have 2 little girls looking up to me as an example of what they should be. You guys see, this makes them feel something. You want to provoke a feeling because she's like, oh my gosh, I just said earlier, like, chasing toddlers is my cardio. Like, I just said earlier, I just said all this. Like, we're talking specifically to that mom. I couldn't have got any more specific. That's what you want. You want to specifically say, I'm shaking you. I am you in the future. Like, you could be successful. Just listen to what I'm saying. Like, that's basically the effect we want to give women. And I can't tell you how many people have slid into my DMs like, oh my gosh, your last post, you were basically shaking me and telling me to get off my ass. Like, you were basically telling me, I felt the exact same way as you, whatever the case may be, right? You want them to feel that. You want them to seriously feel exactly, and it takes them and kind of makes them confront with what they're going through right now and how they are, navigating that. So before you post something, and I know how easy it is to say, oh my gosh, I've got to post today to check off the box, but I urge you, don't just do it to check off a box, because if you're just doing it to check off a box, it's not going to translate to anything that connects with your audience to make them first trust you, then become friends with you, and then buy from you, right? Because they're not going to listen to you until they trust you, and they're not going to trust you until you get vulnerable with them. And once you get vulnerable and they trust you, then they're going to listen to you, and then you become friends with them, and then they're going to buy something from you. But they're not going to buy anything from you if they don't trust you, and they can't trust you if they don't ever get to know you. So you have to look at your page and say, am I just saying, oh, finished, day 6 of MBF. It was so hard, but I'm so proud of myself for keep going. Yay for another day, right? Or are you saying, I just finished day 6 of my program and my muscles are so fatigued and I was so exhausted and I want to pause so many times, but I was just remembering the me before this, and I couldn't even get 2 minutes of this workout done without crying. And now I finished this entire thing, and yes, I'm sore, and yes, I'm hurting, but I am proud of where I came today. Because then you're talking to the person that is sore and wanting to quit and wanting to and stop, but they read your post and they know that there's light at the end of the tunnel? Which one gave you more feelings? Which one did you connect more with? Sometimes we forget that what connected us to our coach is going to connect others to choose us for them to coach us, right? Were we connected to our coach's sweaty selfies that said day one, check? Or were we connected with their more vulnerable post? Probably their more vulnerable post. So why do we think that we're kind of opposed to that? No, dig deep, look inside, and it's scary. But change does not happen when we're not scared. Change does not happen when we're inside of our comfort zone. We've got to get out of that to finally see the change. Everly is staring at my arm moving like this, and it's the funniest thing ever. So let's talk about photos. This is my favorite part because everyone thinks it's so hard, y'all. I got dressed today for the first time in probably like 3 weeks. But my hair is still disaster. So let's not talk about it. But anyways, I get it. We don't get dressed often. We don't put makeup on often. Hell, sometimes I forget to put deodorant on for an entire day, right? Like, it's hard. It sucks. Like, we don't get dressed. So we're sitting here like, how am I supposed to make my feed more than just sweaty selfies? And okay, I understand it. Like, I'm supposed to add different and different kinds of photos, which I'll take you to my feed and kind of give you an example of that. But how am I supposed to if I haven't gone anywhere? I haven't got dressed. And it's all so simple. Batch content. Hear me out. I have been doing this since day one. The best thing to do, especially for y'all that hate doing your makeup and hair, an example, me, you will never see me being a makeup blogger or hair blogger or any of that stuff. I like putting cute clothes on, but my hair is still in a bun. Like, that's just who I am. But the first day that I put my hair extensions in or I do my hair, my makeup, you best believe I am going to take photos all around my house in 8 different outfits so I have content to post for a month, because this shit's not happening any other time soon. So you will see me with my hair all done, and in the summer it doesn't happen as often because I sweat more than a whore in church. Like, it's just bad, and the humidity in Georgia is god awful, so my hair will just fall like a ton of bricks, but I'll do it inside. But in the winter and all that stuff, I will literally be dragging my little tripod all around my yard, all around my backyard. My neighbors are looking at me like I'm crazy, taking pictures, different angles, different outfits, different sides of my yard. So my feed looks like I have been everywhere and anywhere, but I really was just in my yard the entire time. And then I have photos, right? That's the hard part, getting the photos, because we don't like to take pictures often. We don't like to do all that. So we have the photos, then we just have to pair captions with it. So as we're reading our personal development, all that stuff, which we'll get into, you just pair it with a photo and keep it trucking. Y'all look at my phone and there are so many photos on the same day in different outfits because I batch content. And I've done this since the beginning because I don't have much time. If I'm out and about, I have a pop socket, y'all. I ain't afraid to, in the aisles of Target, pop it up there and take a couple selfies, and people look at me crazy. Honey, it's my job to take photos. I get paid for these photos. Keep it moving, right? Like, whatever. But we don't get to leave much anymore. So I'll take photos in my workout room. I'll take photos in my gym area. I'll take photos in the living room, on my couch, sitting at my desk, tons of different places around my house in different outfits. So then I can post the same 2 photos back to back in different outfits, and it doesn't look like it's the exact same day, right? And so that is why you want to do this. So then your page isn't just sweaty selfies. Your page isn't just workout photos. You actually have photos in you real outfits, especially for us stay-at-home mamas or those of us that, don't work outside of the home. And then finding the perfect preset. I have bought so many presets. And if you don't know what a preset is, there's an app called Lightroom. Download it because that's going to be part of your homework. It's free. And you can go to Etsy and Google like Instagram presets and find one that you like. Literally, y'all, the one I use is, I'm trying to see if I can find it. I think it was like $2, maybe $5, and it changes the entire vibe of your page to make it scroll stopping. You don't have to know how to edit photos. You just have to know how to get some good lighting, natural lighting, not facing to the light, but away from it. And the preset will be magic for you. So it's called Jane Colors is the site on Etsy, and I use, oh shit, I don't know, one of them, Clean, I think. I don't know, one of them, but they're $5. There's tons of different ones depending on the lighting in your house. Like, okay, you need to figure out what color scheme you want to go to. And if your house is all gray and tan and maybe blue walls, white is probably not the best color scheme to go to. So look at filters that kind of go with the vibe of house you have or where you're located, where you take pictures. And don't be afraid to buy a couple. They're business write-offs. They're only $5 on this site, and you will find the one that looks best for the way you take your pictures. But it gives you instructions on how to download it into Lightroom, how to use it, and then all you literally do is paste it on your pictures, and it's like magic. It's like freaking Houdini. And there you have an Instagram worthy page, right? So take the time. It's intimidating. It's scary. I didn't even know what a DM was before I started Beachbody, but I figured out Lightroom presets you can too. And so remember, post more than just your sweaty selfies. We just did an entire conversation on batch content. Post more than your sweaty selfies. They know you work out by your stories, by all that stuff. You don't need to just post sweaty selfies every day. That's not going to connect with them. And then lighting is everything. Do not take photos in dark basements unless you have a diva ring. And if you haven't invested in one of those, invest. They're $100 right off, and they're the best invention ever. Go outside, dusk time, you know, evening or early mornings, not when the sun is super bright and blaring. Face away from the window. So a lot of people think facing to the window, but it like blur you out. So face away from the window. Just those kind of little steps to make your photos a little brighter, putting a little effort into it. Y'all, this is our business. This isn't just us taking pictures of our kids anymore and posting to the gram for shits and giggles. This is a business. We have to put a little effort into it. We don't have to have a professional photographer or somebody following us around all the time, but we do need to put a little effort into it, because what we put into this is what we get out of this. So every single day when you take a photo, if you just make those little tweaks, your feed is going to look so much better, and you're going to get so much more engagement, because people are going to be drawn to your photo versus a lazy half-ass photo that you took because you just felt like you had to. And then work smarter, not harder. Again, posts don't have to be in real time. I posted something, what was it, yesterday? And it was from last week. I posted something the other day. I was literally pregnant in the photo, right? Like, it doesn't have to be today. Nobody's looking at your Instagram story saying, oh my gosh, look, Allie is wearing that leopard outfit right now, but then she just posted a photo in the bathing suit. She's clearly not at the beach right now. Ugh, she is so unauthentic. No. They don't give two shits about that. As long as the photo stops the scroll, what they care about is the caption. But they're not going to look at the caption unless the photo stops their scroll. All right. Water. Now let's talk about stories. My biggest pet peeve on stories, and when I look at my coaches' stories and I give them hell about it if they do it. You gotta talk. You cannot just do boomerangs and music and still shots. Like, you've got to talk. You've got to connect. You've got to reach out to them, and you've got to share your life. Don't just share your workout and an invite. You got to share your life, share your kids, share what you're doing day to day, share your humor, share just what you're doing. Y'all, I literally have been talking about stupid, corny jokes on my Instagram stories for like 2 days now, because literally they think they're the funniest thing ever. And the most engagement, people are coming to my inbox and DMing me and laughing with me and entertaining with me. Like, I'm just being me. And figuring out who you are through Instagram stories is the most fun thing that ever could be. Who I am now and who I was are 120% different. I send screenshots to my new coaches all the time of like who I was pre. Like, I go to my archives and scroll all the way up and I show them my first few stories. And they're like, you are a completely different person now. And I'm like, yeah, because I sucked for a very long time until one day I didn't suck as bad. And then I started not sucking bad even more. And then guess what? Somewhere between the really sucky and not sucking as bad, I became pretty damn good at Instagram stories. But you don't get there unless you suck for a very long time and then figuring it out as you go. So are you sharing your life? Are you showing pictures of your kids or funny things that they're doing? Are you sharing grocery hauls or little quirks of yours? You've got to think, is this going to provoke somebody to get an idea? That is what I'm always trying to do on my Instagram stories. I feel like my Instagram stories is like a reality TV show of my life. And I want them to DM me, laugh with me, connect with me. So I'm all the time saying, oh my gosh, looks like I need to get some new pants, right? And then I've gotten tons of DMs like, girl, you got to go buy you some new pants. Or, oh my gosh, listen to this corny joke. And then they DM me tons of laughs. Or, you know, I don't know how many margaritas, too many margaritas, but I've just had 3 and they're like, no, 3 is not enough. Or whatever the case may be, right? They're coming in my inbox constantly talking or laughing with me. So I get to create connections without even trying. You know, that takes away half of the busy work we have to do as coaches, right? Sending connections. If we get them in our inbox, if we're constantly putting effort in there, those count as our connections on our Beachbody tracker. We check that shit off and we didn't even have to do anything for it, except create the content we were already creating. Invite every day in your stories. I don't want to hear, I don't want to be salesy. I don't want to invite too much. I don't want to annoy them. If you're annoying them, they'll unfollow you. End of discussion. So don't think about them annoying you. You know how many times somebody has to see something to take action on it? Every single day after my workout, I do a boomerang or I do a still shot or I do a sweaty selfie and I'm like, are you ready to do this with me? Swipe up if you're interested. Swipe this if you want more information on my boot camp. Easy, simple things like that that don't seem salesy, but every single day it's an invite. Every single day after my workout, they know they're getting invited. Sometimes I have nobody swiping on them. Most of the times I don't have anybody voting. But guess what? Eventually I do. And those are people I can connect with. And those are people I can start making relationships with. So don't feel like you're inviting too much. That everybody does not see your stuff. You are not that popular. Trust me. I have to remind myself of that every day. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want to annoy them. But everybody doesn't see my stuff, right? I have like 17,000 followers, 16,000 followers, and I only have like 3,000 views on my stories, right? Like not everybody sees my stuff. And sometimes those aren't the same 3,000 people. So we've got to make sure that we're constantly inviting so they constantly know that they have something to join. If you're just posting your workouts and your sweaty selfies and you're never inviting them, you know, out loud or in the stories, they don't know that they can join you. They just think you're another person using Instagram as your accountability. They don't know that it's your business. It's our job to beyond a shadow of a doubt, let them know that they can always join us if they need help whenever they're ready. And so that means every single day talking about the coaching opportunity, every single day talking about your boot camps, every single day inviting them to something. And don't ever think you're doing it too much. As long as you are giving value, as long as you are connecting with them, as long as you are giving them everything you got, it is not hard to ask for an invite, right? It's not hard to post that. And they're not going to feel like it's icky, like, oh, that's all she posts. But if you're only posting your workout and then posting an invite, yeah, that's icky. You've got to be connecting. You've got to get them to relate with you. And then the last thing is curiosity marketing. The best thing I ever did was learn curiosity marketing. I don't ever call it muscle burns fat. I don't ever call it Beachbody on Demand. I don't ever call it Energize. I don't ever use terminology they know nothing about that they can go Google and buy it off Google. I want them in my inbox asking, what is your mama crack? What is this 60-day program you're doing? Where are you getting these results? What is this on-demand fitness thing you're using? What is this? What is that? And they don't know I'm a Beachbody coach. And that's when I know I am doing my job. Because I don't want to scream every Beachbody coach. Because guess what, y'all? There's 400,000 of us. 400,000 of us. What makes you different? Them not knowing that you're a Beachbody coach is what makes you different. They know they can join you for something, but they don't know what. So they got to ask. And that's when you get to do your magic. So flip labels, all that good stuff. So final steps. I think we're good on time. My watch is dead. Everly's not even asleep yet. So final steps. Go to Etsy and take a camera shot of this, whatever you got to do. Go to Etsy and find a preset for your page. I'm telling you, it's going to change your life, and it's $5. Everybody's got $5. Don't stop at Starbucks tomorrow and buy yourself a preset. Then do a brain dump of your story. The best thing I ever do is every 3 months, I do this once a quarter. I sit down with a drink, like a cocktail at night, or I sit down with my coffee in the morning, and I get a pen. Excuse me. I get a pen and a paper, and I write down my story. I write down what brought me to Beachbody. I write down how I was feeling before I came to Beachbody. I write down all my struggles and tribulations, and it changes. Right now, it's talking about postpartum struggles and mental and all that stuff, but I just brain dump my story. So then I can reread it and get inspiration for posts. I can break apart bits and pieces for content. Y'all, content is not hard if you're doing the work. Your personal development. You're getting very vulnerable. Every single day I do personal development, which you guys should be because it's part of the Beachbody tracker. I do personal development. I actually listen to it now. I used to read it because now new mom life. But I listen to it, and I have a sticky note because I listen to my personal development while I do my workout because I don't have much time to do it any other time. So I literally have my AirPods in. I have a sticky pad, and I jot down like 3 bullet points from that personal development. Like I'll pause my workout. Oh my gosh, that was good. Jot it down real quick. So then I will reread that, get inspired by it, and create content. Every single day, my goal is to create at least one post from what I'm listening to in my personal development. If you can't create a post from what you're listening to in your personal development, you've got to find better personal development because it's not connecting with you. So many of us fall in the trap of doing personal development to check off the box that we're not doing what's beneficial for us. You guys got to find what's beneficial for you and that will help you with content. What are the 3 takeaways you have from whatever you listened to or read that day? And how can you then give that to your tribe, if it's your coaches or your boot campers or on your feed? I repurpose content all the time. What I post on my feed, I'll probably go live in my boot camp and share it with my boot campers, right? Like it's you working smarter, not harder. And then if you're still stuck, go to Pinterest, Google inspirational quotes. I have a board literally of quotes that if I have nothing to say, I will look at those quotes and they will give me some kind of inspiration for me to start sharing some part of my story. It's okay. It's okay. You're doing so good. So those are just some tips, but y'all, if you are doing personal, I know my page, like right now, y'all, I have never had such a good engagement on my photos. I've never had such good engagement in my feed because I am diving deep into my personal development. I am doing the work, the heart work. I am all in on my group and my boot camp. I am all in on my program and my journey. Like I am doing that work, and that transpires into my feed. And so if your page is dull, you have to ask yourself, how are you doing in your own journey? How are you doing in your personal development? How are you feeling? If you're fueling your body like crap, maybe that's transpiring into because you're not feeling motivated, or you're not believing it yourself. How's your belief in the Beachbody? All these things, because if it's not all together, your content's going to be crap and you're going to struggle and you're going to stare at that blank sheet of paper for however long and not come up with anything. And then the last tip is give. Don't just post to post every time. We post is an opportunity to touch a heart. I am always thinking about how I can give value, how I can help them, how I can connect to another mama, how I can do something. I am not trying to sell in every one of my posts. My goal is 6 days a week to give. And then on that 7th day, I post a call to action. And they're a lot more likely to want to join me after I've given so much than if I just post every single day trying to sell them something. So what can you give? What can you help educate or entertain, or what emotions can you evoke from them? How can you connect with them? Okay, so that's all I've got for right now. I wanted to leave a little time for questions, and then I can do a couple Instagram audits so you guys can get some ideas. Does anybody have any questions?
If you guys have questions, just unmute yourselves. I know a couple girls volunteered for the audit. I think that was amazing. You touched on like
Personally,
all of the things. I really love the batch content idea. Honestly, I think it's a huge time saver. It's not something that I feel like I pre-plan all the time, but I definitely try to take advantage of any time I feel dolled up, and just take my tripod all over the place. And it comes in handy like you wouldn't believe, especially now being a mom.
and I would use different props. So I would take photos around my house and get like my personal development books. And so then I would like have one with girl wash your face, and I could use a quote out of that and then spin it into my story. And I would sit in different chairs or, you know, use different things. So it really kind of helps provoke those content captions. And then sometimes I would, you know, have my captions all ready to go. And like, if I had something with personal development and I wrote like a paragraph, I would break it down into 3 different posts. And so then I just have to connect it with a photo and post it, right? Like, I'm not super like Melanie Mitro, like planning everything out to a T, but it really does help in kind of making your job a little bit easier. And we all need it. We're all busy. Like, we all have ish that's going on. We all have, you know, stuff in our life that keeps us busy. We need to make this job as simple as possible. And it is. Oh, this business is so freaking simple.
Yeah.
Posting, creating content is simple, and it's stuff that we already kind of do. Like, we already talk to our friends about our story. We already do all these things. So it's just a little bit more effort. You know what I mean?
Hey, Allie.
What's up, boo?
I know your grid is pictures. Like, you do pictures like of yourself and everything like that. I've seen a few grids where like they kind of make it to where like the middle of their grid is like just pictures with quotes on it. Like, it's like almost like a graphic, like from Canva. And then on either side is, of course, pictures like of themselves or the family and stuff. Do you find that like a grid like yours, that's just pictures of you and your family, compared to a grid like that with like the graphics on it? How do you find that? I don't know. Do you have
my opinion on this is going to be a very unpopular opinion. I personally think it's lazy. That's just me. Like, if I just see a picture of a quote or something like that, it's not going to stop my scroll. It's not going to make me go, oh, I feel connected to that person or whatever. It's just, I feel like it's more of a place saver. You guys kind of know that free spot on bingo. Like, that's what I feel like that is. It's just something to be able to throw up there. And then you can't even really talk about it. It's just like, oh, it's already said what it's got to say. So I'm just going to add some peace signs or whatever and post it. So my opinion, and again, it might not be a popular opinion, but I just think it's lazy and people aren't going to connect with it, and it wastes an opportunity to relate with them. I'm all for using quotes. I'm all for, you know, using different, why is this not working? You're stupid. I'm all for using quotes, like, but I think it should be a photo of you and then doing a quote. And then, you know, that's just me personally. Again, it might not be that popular in an opinion, but some successful coaches do it.
I know, I was just going to say, I've seen some do it, and I know in the beginning I kind of did that for a little while. And again, if it helps you find your way, try it for a little while. I guess I won't say that, but like, I know I did it, and it was sort of one of those things where trial and error, failing forward, like figuring out how I was going to, in the process of getting more vulnerable with sharing. That was something I did.
It would hurt my head to have to think about, oh my gosh, is this post supposed to be a quote, or is it supposed to not be a quote?
Yeah.
Or, and then I messed it up, and I might as well delete it. Like, I feel like I'm just too like.
Yeah, that takes a lot of work actually to make sure that every other photo is like a quote and or a picture or something.
I would forget.
I saw Marissa said to audit, and then
Okay, I'm pulling up. Here it is right now. I'm trying to pull it up real quick. We'll do like, Everly, honey, stop. How long is my husband gonna walk for? Why is this not working? So I was trying to pull up my phone, but it's not working right now. So we're gonna see. If it's not working, then I can always just pull it up on Will Shiz Knuckles. Okay, so we're just gonna do let's see here. Bear with me for a moment. All right, so let's see here. Where's my chat box? Bear with me. I am struggling. She's like sucking on my finger. Okay, so we've got. So Marissa. I'll pick like 2 or 3 since we got like 10 minutes. Okay, so here is Marissa. It's one of my coaches. So what I see, and so I always say, one, I look for in a feed. So I look at the first 6. That is my goal, is looking at the first 6 and saying, can I know what she's about? Do I know that I can join her in something? And do I, feel connected? And so when I first see it, I see a transformation, which I love. And I force my coaches every single Sunday to post a transformation. So that's probably her Sunday post. So I know that she's on a weight loss journey and she's seeing success, and I can click that and be able to hear her story and join her. I see a sweaty selfie, so I know she's working out. One thing I know about her that I don't see, and I want to know what else you love about yourself. What else is entertaining you about yourself? So for her, because I know her, I know she's really into flamingos, and that was one of her things. And I'm scrolling and I'm scrolling and I'm scrolling and I don't see flamingos, right? Like, what else are you? What else are you other than Beachbody? If I look at your feed, I should be able to, like, if your kids are a really important part of your life, I shouldn't have to scroll and scroll and scroll to see your babies, right? Like, I should be able to see them right there. If, being part of coffee, like a big thing about coffee is a big thing in you, then I should be able to see that, right? So with Marissa's page, I feel like, and you can unmute yourself if you want to or whatever, but I need to see more. And so this is everybody. Like, if I look at your page and I don't see what else you are other than Beachbody, then you're got to figure it out, right? If I don't see your kids and they're a big part of your brand, you've got to post them. If, I don't see a transformation in the top 6, you've got to make sure you have a transformation in the top 6. And then also photos, aesthetically pleasing. If you were holding this plate of like fruit and vegetables, that would stop my scroll more than kind of this like thrown together plate of fruit and vegetable that's kind of like, I don't really care. Click that and look at what it's saying, right? But if you are holding the plate with a big smile on your face, oh, she's really happy about this plate of food. Let me see what she's got to say about it, right? Like, stuff like that. Also with like the colors, they're not as like bright or eye-catching. Some of them are a little brighter, like this one's a little brighter and then this one's a little more dingier, so they don't all kind of vibe together. So I would also say on your page, are all your photos vibing together? Now, like I said, she's posted a transformation, which is great, and she's got a really big smile in this photo, which is great. I want to see you happy and loving life, but also got to see more from you than just Beachbody. Who else do we have? Sunny. And then I can kind of go to mine and show you what I mean. Not saying mine's perfect by any means, but I can use that example. Okay, Sunny. So here, I see a transformation. I don't scroll. Like if I am somebody thinking, okay, am I gonna follow you? I need to see in the pics photos, one, something that catches my eye and I can resonate with, something that I know I can join, or something that we can relate on. So then I click the follow button. If I don't see that in the first 6, somebody who's thinking about following you is not going to like, oh, wait, hold on. Here's something 800 years ago that I connect with. Let me follow them, right? They're not going to do that. So first 6, first I see is a before and after, which I love, right? Every single week, we need to make sure we're posting a before and after. Also, I would look and see, are you posting every single day? You need to post every single day. Every single day. Say it with me. Every single day. At least one time a day. So they always are kind of in your feed and they can see you. Because if you haven't posted in 6 days, that's 6 missed opportunities to connect with somebody. So here I see that she's really into balance in food. So maybe that's a really big part of her brand of like, yeah, I can eat Cheetos, but I can still see results like a boss, you know? I see a dog, so I'm her big probably is she's a big dog mom and talks about her dogs. And if I come up here, you know, fitish, yep, that tells me she's fitish because she's eating Cheetos, you know what I mean? And then here's an IG story, and she picked a really pretty still picture of herself. And here she's kind of gone for like the matte vibe of her photos, and they all go together. I would make them a little more brighter, but again, that's my vibe. At least they all go together, and that's what matters, and it looks aesthetically pleasing. Here I can see that she maybe does something. She's works from her computer or works from home. And maybe if I'm interested in working from home or, you know, aspire to, I would click it. So there is all of those things. Again, I only see, you know, 2 to maybe 3 things about her. So she's on a fitness journey. She's, you know, fitish. She likes her balance in food, and she's a dog mom or whatever. So maybe a couple more things that I can relate to maybe see that. But here she's giving me options. So if you're growing your feed and you're going to other dog accounts or something, you got to make sure you have a photo of your dog at the top. If you're going to other mom accounts, you got to make sure you have photos of your kids. Because if you're trying to grow your account with those accounts and they don't see that stuff, they're going to be like, I don't have anything in common with this girl. Bye, Felicia, right? Like they're not going to want to follow you. So I'll go to my page real quick. Oh, we got another volunteer. Okay, Alex wants Sabs. Everly, hold on. Alex. Oh, don't fall over. What? This is really difficult to do one-handed. There we go. Alexandria Dodge. That's my name, Alexandria. Okay, so she's an adventurer, radio personality / music director, graphic designer, pretty funny, snowboarder, and retired lacrosse player. Okay, so those are some things that I expect to see in our feed. I always say the things in our bio should be the things that we post in our feed. If we're not going to be posting about it, it's just taking up space in our bio because that's important. People read that and are like, okay, is there something that I'm going to connect with? So making sure that we only put stuff in our bio that we're going to post about. So here we go. I see in her first 6 a transformation. So I know she's on a fitness journey and, you know, vibing with that. I see that she's into outdoors. So maybe she's a really outdoorsy person and likes the lake and she obviously likes the lake. She's outgoing. She's got friends. So maybe that's a big part of her brand. I don't see anything so I don't know if that's like important to her or a big part of her brand. If it's something in your bio, I expect to see it. And I don't see anything about retired or being lacrosse or interested in that. I see that she likes golf or maybe just drinking at golf. So I don't really see anything like that. But like in the first 6, I look to see, are there a couple things I can connect with? So say you're trying to grow your network with snowboarders or, you know, other graphic designers. I don't see any anything that would make me connect with that. And I don't see, you know, I know that you're on this kind of journey, but I don't see anything about coaching. Like maybe you're at your computer, you're talking about that. And also the photos. I would make them a little brighter, make them a little lighter, or put a preset on them to make them all kind of vibe together. I do see balance here, so that's really great. But again, we want to make sure that our first, where they see, they don't have to scroll to see what we're about. So just making sure that there's something that will catch their eye. So I'll go, it's 9 o'clock, so let's, I'm going to my profile and kind of show you guys. So in mine, my bio is Fiddish. I'm an imperfect girl mama of 2, so they know that there's nothing perfect about me. An example, the typos. And I'm passionate about helping women love their body and create freedom in their life. And then join me here. And so in my first 6, I have my before and after. I have a picture of my kids. So there's 2 pictures of my kids. And Fiddish, like imperfect eater. I've got balanced pictures. This is a post talking about body positivity and loving the body you're in. So that's my goal, is to really help women love the body that they're in right now. And so here you can see, you know, I'm into fitness. I'm a postpartum mama talking about breastfeeding. I really into balance and nutrition. I, you know, am on a postpartum journey and, you know, getting results in my fitness. And then my kids. And so there's every single thing about me right there in the top 6. And even if you scroll into the next 6, so my kid, here's postpartum journey, my other kid, right? I'm talking about loving my body right here. So you see every 6 photos, there's something about what I am engaging with and connecting with, right? There's something about me and my brand. And right now my brand is mom, postpartum, fitness, business, right? Like that's the things that I'm really talking about. And there's everything, even if you go to the next 6, like body positivity, you know, my kids, here's about coaching. And then this is another fitness photo. You guys see how every 6 photos, there's the exact same thing. That's what you're looking, making sure every 6 photos that you are connecting with them in the ways that you're wanting to connect and giving that value of the things that you're wanting to do. So I think that's all I've got. I don't know if anybody else has anything.
Thank you so much, Allie. That was awesome. I think it was really helpful, honestly, to have you do the audit, because I think it just helps to see and hear, you know, different examples from other people's feeds and even just your own. I think yours is amazing. So, yay! I'm so happy.
Yay. And
Your baby did so well.
You did so good. You only got a little fussy.
Just a little, she's probably tired.
I know. Hey, this is what we work so hard for, though, right? So we can do work calls with our baby.
Oh, so cute.
Got to constantly remind yourself why you're working so hard. And this is for me. I would be, you know, going to sleep, getting ready for a 10-hour shift at State Farm, dropping her off at daycare, you know, pumping 6 times a day, every single day, cleaning parts, bagging milk. But instead, I'm home with her, getting to raise her, getting to talk to you guys with her in my arms. This is what we do this for. And maybe that's not your story, but you've got to constantly remind yourself why you're doing this, why you are constantly going to deal with the suck, because this business sucks sometimes and it's hard and it challenges us. And we're going to want to quit more times than not. But we have to remind ourselves when we're not going to.
Boom, mic drop. All right. Thank you, Allie. Thanks, guys, for hopping on.
Bye, y'all.